Right. Hello. So I promised myself that I would film a video talking to a camera, and I promised myself this uh, 8 months ago within a dream, and in this dream I was peering into the future and trying to fix this situation that I was destined to face, even though I was destined to face it. So it's not really like I could fix it, can I? But I tried my hardest. I knew that I would be very cursed at this point in my life. I just got out of a clinic, was kicked out of a clinic uh, because, what was it? Because I didn't, I basically signed a piece of paper saying that if I refused to take medication, which they were giving me tons of stuff, and I refused one morning, and normally this wouldn't lead to a kick out or being kicked out, but I signed a piece of paper saying that if I don't take it, then they can legally kick me out, and so they jumped at the opportunity. I've been there before, and the last time I was there, not the last time, but the time before that, uh, I was uh, I was kicked out because they basically uh, tested for drugs, and a false positive happened, and so I was annoyed. I said, let's do it again, because it's obviously a false positive. I haven't consumed something like that. And they just didn't want me to. They were like, no, 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 you're out. They didn't even want to. I think they knew that it was a false positive, and they just wanted to make room for other people. But it's not like I'm abusing the system. Like I'm there because of my alcohol addiction, and I do have a lot of mental problems that are preventing me from integrating into normal society. We've been awake for 2 days now, and this is like a regular occurrence. It's the only time I can actually talk, when I'm sleep deprived. When I'm not, then I'm just like I'm a cursed ego. I'm so quiet, and I'm consumed by all of this illusionary fear, and it's just ridiculous. It never used to be like that. It used to be like I could consistently hold this vibration even when I was sober, or even when I was well slept. But now it's just turned into like it's just impossible to anyway, it doesn't matter. But this, the last time I was at this clinic, or the time that they kicked me out because of this false positive, I got a bit angry, and so I wanted to. They were all calling me, or they were basically all implying that I was crazy for believing in magic and all this. So I wanted to show them that I could. I wanted to kind of prove them wrong, and the ego got the best of me, and so I affirmed a lot of stuff that would happen to the clinic in front of them, and they didn't believe it at the time, but obviously the servitor that I affirmed through made it happen. And so everything I affirmed, which was some really like sketchy stuff, like that there would be a fire in the clinic, and that some dude uh, would break in, and that all of the corrupt members will be fired, and they won't even be given a valid reason, just like how they didn't give me a valid reason for kicking me out, and all of this stuff. I was really bitter, and uh, I abused my power in that sense. And so this, right now, that I'm facing, these curses and this this hardship is it's the lashback from that, you know. When you convince a lot of psychiatrists, or when you show a lot of psychiatrists who never believed in the occult, that the occult works, then I kind of became very well known amongst that community, and lots of people, either through envy or through interest, were going into the occult. And yeah, they've got like a whole coven of people, or a whole group of people who have just been actively cursing me, and someone's doing it daily, or I think a couple people are doing it daily, because it's so hard to get rid of it, and the shit just keeps on coming back. And I also affirmed in the affirmation that I made back in my first day at this clinic when I got kicked out, that everybody would start cursing me, you know, because I thought that it would somehow make me stronger, but it's just made me more drained. It's just a constant battle just to stay like normal. It's impossible. Like I'm supposed to shave my beard. I don't like the beard, but for some reason someone has cursed me, so that now I like get panic attacks when I try to shave my beard. It's ridiculous. And lots of other stuff. I don't really want to like delve too much into all of the curses, but like my speech as well, I'm a completely different person. And I've also got this like inner voice that just keeps on arguing, trying to disprove everything that I try to believe, which is super annoying, because I'm trying to believe positive things and I want to keep a high vibration, but then I have this entity that keeps on instilling doubt into every affirmation that I think. I'm getting the hang of it, and I've made lots of progress, but yeah, it's a trip. So yeah, I'm in this battle. Well, basically, I'm just getting hit by lots of curses, and I'm isolated from everyone. I have no desire to socialize. I have no courage to talk to anyone. When I do, everything goes fine, but it's just like, actually everything goes better than fine. I feel like I'm more careful and calculated and mature in my demeanor. Normally I'm very hyperactive and whimsical, but at this point, with all these curses, it's not really possible to be so. And as you can see, I'm rambling. I've got this one curse that I've held for way too long now. It's become a habit where I just forget what I was saying halfway through my sentence. And so I just speak from intuition. I know it's rambling and I'm probably like missing a lot of points, but this is the best I can do so far. Just wait until this person is hello. What else? Yeah, I'm trying to find ways to get out of this situation quickly, you know. I want the kind of spell that destroys all of these curses at once. And I've managed to do it a couple of times, but each time I wake up and everything's right back to normal. And those times that I did it, I was sleep deprived. I used cannabis as a catalyst. And I was drunk as well, so like, you know, switching belief when you're in that state is easy, but then holding it into the next day and encoding it permanently, that's another thing. You have to really like keep doing it, and you have to hold it, and you need to kind of be in the same state that you are when you're drunk, when you're sober, and that's almost impossible. So I'm just having to outwill it now. I've done all the sigils I can. I have the thread of of, of the blessed being. It keeps on snapping away. I used to think, or I feel like most of my enemies as well, they're attempting to drain me. They want to like take my energy, and this isn't really possible because like one's energy is one's own energy. You know, it doesn't really like, you can't take someone's energy. Like they'll generate more energy, and when people say they want to take your energy, they mean like take your persona, take your abilities, but that's not really what happens. What happens is they take your they make you tired, basically. They just make you tired, and then they get a little delusional jolt of energy solely based on the fact that they can see that you're tired. And so they get their own energy increased, you know, like the persona, the gifts, the abilities, the way of being, the state of consciousness that I hold doesn't get transferred. Instead it gets blocked, it gets like weighted down by all of these curses and constructs that they use to drain you or to make you more tired. And so that's basically what I am now. I'm like, my ego is so heavy. And there's short amounts of time where everything lifts and I'm suddenly myself again. But then all of the curses come back. And so I think that's why when I'm sleep deprived or high, the curses seem to go away. It's just because my state of consciousness has become more lighter. And so these heavy curses, and I call them heavy because they are dense, they belong to the ego. Negativity doesn't really exist in higher planes. And so they are literally heavy. They are burdens that are connected to the ego, but once the ego dissolves, or once the ego has been made lighter through drugs, sleep deprivation, or through meditation, then it becomes so much easier to function as soul incarnated. We've got another person walking by. He doesn't like me. Most people are like scared of me at this point. Either scared or weirded out. I don't really care at this. I don't care. There's nothing I can do. I am doing my best. I'm trying to overcome all of this stuff. And there are many people who can like see it. They know me from my past. They know that I'm cursed. They know that there is that this is like heavy spiritual warfare they're witnessing, which is kind of yeah. I don't know if that makes me feel better about the situation or not. I've seen many people who are they spend their whole life cursed, and there's been many times where I've kind of considered what if I stay like this for the rest of my life? Like, what if I don't manage to get rid of them? But I guess in that case, I'll just learn to live with them. I mean, energy is energy, you know, and if it's negatively vibrating, then I can somehow turn it into a positive vibration or frequency. I just need to distinguish all of it. What is just my habitual mind reacting to the curses and thus cursing itself, and what is actually the curse or the curses. Like I could time jump, but even through time jumping, I just find myself slowly going back to this other timeline. It's just because my ego is not compatible. But it's getting there. It is. Yeah. But yeah, I manifested this whole situation, or at least tried to, and I've upset, or I've like kind of wasted a lot of people's opportunities. I've manifested so many like friends to come and help me, or people to kind of keep me on a good track. I knew one of the biggest things I'd be facing is isolation, and so I wanted to have people around me. I wanted to have friends to keep me out of that isolation, but I've just not had any. I've not had any motivation or desire at all to talk to anyone. Like even people who I know are like from my soul family, or people who I know who are there that I called forth to help me. You know, there's like some people who it would have gone fine, but like the curses on me just made it weird. I'm just not myself. I'm not used to being myself. I'm not used to being like this. Talking like a robot to someone and having no emotional reactions in your face, no expressions, no mimic, no enthusiasm, no passion, kind of weirds people out. And it's not like I can fake it, you know, like that's just gonna make it seem even weirder. So yeah, I just have to accept that I'm alone at this point in my life. I feel like my family's just waiting for me to die. It doesn't matter. I'm not gonna like go into that. I'm not in the right state of mind to contemplate about it. I've also got this on my nose, which is super annoying because it aligns with a timeline where it's supposed to be like some sign that I'm in a lower timeline. But when it happened, intuition like already got a hold of the frequency that it was carrying, and it was the frequency of this witch who I know from a while back, and I know that it was attacking me. So it's a curse that they wanted to put on my nose so that they can say, hey, look, he's in a lower reality. They wanted to trick me. I know how crazy that sounds, but it's the truth. Basically, everything that could have gone wrong has gone wrong. And so I'm forced to accept looking like I'm in the lower reality while consciously being in the higher reality every now and then. You can probably see it in my eyes and look so dead, but it's fine. It's okay. It will get better. Shit gets hard before it gets easy. The one thing that's really annoying is working. Like, it used to be so effortless and natural to create. I could create content, I could create videos, and I'd have like a deep passion for it. But now I'm having to like force myself just to do simple tasks. It used to be I would invoke the sense of drive and then like intensify it with contemplation or drugs or writing down like the ideas. But now it's just like I have to like initiate the work. I have to start working, and then I have to push through all of the heavy laziness and like lack of passion and pointlessness, and I have to like delusionally create this sense of drive. And it works sometimes, but as soon as you stop, it goes, and then it's like it feels like you have to climb a mountain just to start working again. It's ridiculous. I was smoking tons of cigarettes. Obviously, I went back to beer, which is what it is. It's destined to happen, apparently. Tarot cards and all these readings just telling me that people are scared of me. I don't blame them. It's either scared of me or weirded out. I think the tarot cards are just being, trying to be kind, feed my ego rather than destroy it. Like, the ego is still important, even if it really is. It's so cursed and so burdened. Like, my ego is, it's my persona, it's my way of being, it's my character. And to exist without an ego is all fun and cool, but you don't really have a personality and you don't really have a sense of self. You just kind of exist as all, and so you can't function like that. And so yeah, I have to like reprogram my ego. And I can't really use sigils at this point. And sigils just give an idea, but the doubt, it's like habitual doubt. It makes it impossible, almost impossible. There are some ways that I've been able to encode sigils, but then it's about keeping them. It's just a long, tedious process. It used to be like quick changes, I just kept on growing and kept on growing, and now it's like it takes a week for me to do what I used to do in like a couple hours. But it's getting better. I'm just trying to explain what it feels like to be this cursed, probably for myself in the future. So I can look back on this hopefully when I'm no longer cursed. I can be like, whoa, I wish I had blessed myself in this way before, or what? I wish that I could have really like seen how big of a difference cursing makes. I don't know, I'm just kind of losing the thread of thought at this point. Not really that motivated to do this. It's what happens when I manifest stuff. The opportunity arises and then you just can't really like act on it with your full passion. So it's kind of better just to let destiny play out on its own. But I will get there at some point, to the point where I can just like create reality, act on it accordingly, masterfully, perfectly. Then life is mine. Yeah, I'm starting a new channel, an Instagram page, where I like share the wisdom that I've gathered in my documents throughout the years. I sound really uneducated right now, but that's because my vocabulary has been cursed as well. But the stuff that I've written is true, and it is intelligent. It is true knowledge, and don't know what else to say. But yeah, it's real. Like, I've managed to do a lot with it. Not only manifest reality through words, but also like travel time. I've died 2 times. It's hard to remember. I've also got multi-dimensional awareness, which I awakened a while back. So I remember every timeline. I remember a billion deaths, every possible death, and every possible event that could, or has, or will, or may take place. But the way that you distinguish these memories, in quotation marks, from actual experience is because there is conscious experience behind the ones that I've experienced, you know. So like the death that I had 2 times. First one was being stabbed. Second one was also being stabbed. These are deaths that I manifested because I wanted to see those realms, and I also wanted the motivation and the experience of it, to be honest. And so, yeah. After that, I was able to time jump through sleep. Before that, death was required. It needed like the first death to be able to like, for the consciousness to really like fully believe and fully trust in its ability to traverse time. But after that, like, it was easy. I could switch through sleep, not go back in time. I could go back in time, like if I died, because I had the anchor set. But the time after the death, I kind of didn't want to go back. I wanted to kind of live forward and not have to redo everything. But then after the first time that I got kicked out of the clinic, about 2 weeks later, I was smoking a joint at this place, a little bit away from where I live, and some dude who I used to rave with, who does not like me. I had something with his girlfriend back when he was 19 and I was 16, and I didn't know, but when I found out, I also didn't stop, you know. Like, she was very. I was a horny teenager, and I hurt him, I guess. But still, you would would forgive this, but he apparently didn't forgive me in that timeline, and so he stabbed me, or he got his friend to stab me, and yeah, I remember like the coldness of the knife. It didn't hurt because my consciousness was already like prepared. It already knew it was going to travel, and I had a servitor that was able to turn off the pain receptors. Such a good servitor. I'm going to get it back in this one because that could like literally control my genetics and my nervous system and everything. And then I like left my body, and then I woke up at the time anchor. I died in 2025, woke up in 2024, did it all again. But that second time around, it was, I went all in the first time around, but the second time around it was like really hard to keep up with what I did in the last one, all of the spells and all of the, like when you're doing something for the first time, you have this drive and you have this inspiration, but when you're doing it for the second time, it's kind of like you're following a script, and it's not natural, And so it kind of got a bit behind. But then it's just a matter of aligning with the timeline where I died, like the version of myself before it died, so that I could like take the spells that I casted upon myself and like transfer them to this version, which led to this whole like time war. In the first reality, the first time I was convinced my lower self, I called it my lower self as well, that's the fucking, but I was convinced my lower self is trying to curse me, he's taking my spells and all this kind of shit. And I was, but I had to. And second time around I was like trying to talk to it, but I already knew that it's not going to believe me because I didn't believe it when I was in its position. It's all crazy, like literally this is stuff that didn't even happen in this reality, so that's why it's crazy. It's don't blame yourself if you can't follow, and don't blame me if I sound like I'm rambling. There is sense to it. It's just not, it's not meant to be understood by people who, by normal people, like, quite frankly. Like, the human is supposed to live one life. It's not supposed to live 50 lives at once and be aware of all of them, So, yeah. There's this whole time war. But once he died, it was all good. Or once I died, it was all good to handle. Yeah. But this reality is a lot more, it's a lot harder. Yeah. Probably risking sanity. Well, I already am insane. But hey, they kicked me out of a clinic because apparently I was well enough, or I didn't seem sick enough. So I guess I'm not crazy, Yeah. So what's next for me? I'll keep on trying to remove these curses until it finally happens. I know I'm close. And I will have them removed. And then I'm going to have to build myself up again. Like a new version of myself. Relearn how to look after myself. Relearn how to earn money. Relearn how to socialize. Relearn how to stay healthy. and everything should be good. But if I do die again, then I'm definitely, I mean, this Lord asked me when I die, but like, if I die, sorry, but like, I'm definitely, I don't feel like I'm going to do this again. I would rather go on to the next plane of existence than have to do this all again. This is now the furthest I've got, and I've had to avoid lots of timelines where I was going to die. Not from people, but from drug abuse, you know, like the amount of, I was not healthy to my body, and I couldn't be, you know, I had to be in a certain state of mind to be able to deal with all of this stuff, and to be able to stay positive despite the situation. And so I had a phase where I was like switching between bodies, literally like dying in my sleep. And that accumulated quite a bit of karma up as well. Killing yourself or allowing yourself to die kind of, it hurts the people who love you, you know. So I've ended up in a reality where I'm with family members and friends who don't really, well, I don't really have any friends at this point, but family members who don't really love me that much. But that could just be my illusion, you know, that just could be me saying that because it makes sense for me. Maybe it's not the case. And so I still have to kind of keep an open mind. But yeah, life just got harder every time I died. Like the new reality became more burdened. So there's definitely karma at play. I would not recommend doing temporal anchors for anyone, even though it's like absurd that you can cheat death. It's not worth it. Yeah, that's all I have to say. So half an hour, I think that's good. Sorry I look so awkward. I know that my future self who's watching this is like, oh my god, he's cringing at the fact, but it is what it is, you know. I don't really care about my looks at this moment. Someone didn't want me to, and so they cursed me to make me not care about my looks, and it's kind of freeing, you know, not really giving a shit. I will do in the future though, so yeah, bye bye. Thank you for listening, and bless you all, even if I am cursed.